When I was growing up, that was like a typical saying. We used to hear things like, oh, he hit the lotto. Oh, she hit the lotto. But what does that even mean, really? Like, just thinking back when I was younger, if you hear that a girl hit the lotto, to me, that meant that she got with a rich guy. Everything paid for. She don't gotta lift a fork for the rest of her life. She hit the lotto and got with a rich guy. That's what I understood when I was younger. Or vice versa. You could say that he hit the lotto. Like he got with a chick like Oprah Winfrey. If you get with Oprah Winfrey, it's like you hit the lotto. But nowadays, with the feminine movement, like Akash Singh, the comedian guy, multimillionaire, he ended up with a girl that, yeah, she's beautiful, but personally, I say that she hit the lotto because that man is a multimillionaire. But instead, it's the other way around, making it look like he hit the lotto. So that means she gets to walk all over him and destroy him. Like, what? He is allowing her to just go online and destroy his career. Like, I'm sorry, but I lost all respect for Akash Singh. Just as a human being, no human being should be put through so much crap or have their livelihood destroyed. But somebody who feels like it and is not even apologetic about it, just destroying this man's career. Let's take a look at some news, man, because it's insane. But before we get into Akash videos, let's play some Donald Trump's greatest hits. Let's see what he's up to. By the way, my name is Noel. Welcome to Verbal on Life. Let's take a look at the latest news.
Turkeys being pardoned today go by the names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw their pictures, I thought we should send them, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people.
That was President Trump serving up some insults to Chuck and Nancy at the annual White House turkey pardon, sparing Gobble and Waddle from the Thanksgiving dinner table. And while those birds got a break, the seditious six might be wishing they could snag a pardon of their own. The FBI is seeking to interview the 6 members of Congress who made a reckless video about troops disobeying illegal orders. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, he's facing a Pentagon probe and possible court-martial over.
My apologies. Let me slow it down. But yeah, these 6 Pentagon officials, especially Mark Kelly. You know, I was a fan of Mark Kelly because that man went to the moon. He's like a smart engineer who went the Navy route and now is doing public service. And for him to do this and calling us stupid for not doing anything about it, man, thank God we got Trump in office. Let's see what he does.
His role in the video. And he's still clueless on what illegal orders Trump has given.
I said something that was pretty simple and non-controversial, and that was that members of the military should follow the law. And in response to that, Donald Trump said, I should be executed. I should be hanged.
Good.
I should be prosecuted.
Were there specific, potentially illegal orders that you were thinking about that were the sort of precipitating cause for you guys to get together and do that?
Here's the thing, Rachel. You don't want to wait for your kid to get hit by a car before you tell them to look both ways. The whole thing's almost comical.
Sad.
Arizona's other senator, Ruben Gallego, he is providing covering fire for his fellow senators and telling the Trump administration to watch out.
Donald Trump's going to be gone a couple of years. And if you're part of the military that is going after sitting senators, sitting members of Congress, and part of, the weaponization of government, there will be consequences, without a doubt. So, I think there's going to be a lot of officers that are going to be part of this, potential tribunal, if they want to call that, they're going to be looking over their shoulders.
An AOC is calling President Trump's mental stability into question over the whole situation.
The president's remarks I think, indicate a level of instability. it's not just shocking, it's not just offensive, it's bizarre.
You know, a lot of these women are wordsmith. They just come up with all these arguments and ideas that may sound logical to some people. But, lady, we're talking about the president of the United States, commander-in-chief of the greatest military on earth. And he's trying to put his foot down. It's crazy.
It is erratic, it's volatile, and I think it indicates a mental state that we should all be questioning right now, whether that's emotional, mental, what have you. It is not normal.
You know, a lot of regular guys got to put up with these type of women who call what we're doing or what we're going through mental states, trying to call regular guys retarded. And it's like, no, we're not retarded. Stop questioning me my actions. We're moving forward. I'm in charge of this country. And decisions are not going to be pleasant to you. A maniac like AOC.
To make these accusations, it is not normal to invoke these kinds of threats of violence.
All right, Greg.
Yes.
Which one of those Looney Tunes do you want to start with?
Well, I would like to paraphrase The Who and say, meet the new hoax, same as the old hoax. This is a military video that managed to make something out of nothing. So you have, it's the pure structure. One, you begin with an insinuation that becomes an imaginary problem that is bolstered by, and this is important, the credentialed class, which is exactly what they did with the denial of Hunter's laptop and Russian collusion. You find so-called experts. Then this is amplified by a receptive media. You saw that with Russia collusion and the Fine People hoax. And then you get the Trump response, which is then incorporated into the hoax that he is authoritarian. Look how he responded. However, this can only work if you have no memory or no scruples, because there's no credibility among the Democrats or the media. The big picture here, why is this happening? The power and the currency of the Trump administration is energy, and the goal is to deplete that energy to handicap the White House and to handicap the rest of us. Tiring us out is their strategy. So when you see stuff like that, you realize the only value that you can give this thing is to absorb the story. Instead of absorbing it, you observe it. In fact, that's the way you should treat all news, is when a story is coming at you, you don't let it in. You just observe it. You let it swirl around you. You don't want to give it any energy, especially when they don't deserve your energy. Let the two discredited entities, the media and the Democrats, play ball between themselves. You cannot grant them any of your attention or your energy, given the Fine People hoax, the laptop cover-up, the Russian collusion, and especially, and most notably, the Joe Biden cover-up. If you take the word of the Democrats, then you probably still believe OJ is going to find the real killer, and he's dead. As for, and I'll shut up, the non-controversial thing that the astronaut says, it's kind of a half-truth in that it's obvious that you should not obey illegal orders. So that's non-controversial. What is controversial is that they did the video, which means it had nothing to do with that. So you don't gather all the elite Democrats together and make a video to state something obvious or banal. You do it to create dissent and chaos and deceive Americans.
And it seems to me, Jesse, that for quite a long time now, these certain liberals and Democrats with lots of followers have gotten used to throwing out outlandish and false defamatory statements, especially about the president, and no one ever asked for specificity. Now you see someone just even say like, oh, which one? Which one are you talking about? And they immediately deflate because they are unable to cite anything that the president has done that isn't actually perfectly constitutional or within bounds.
And you got to give the mainstream media credit for asking a question. Usually they just buy it. We're not going to let the Democrats mess with the military anymore. We're just not going to let them do it. They already did it with DEI. They did it with trans. They had drag queen story hour on army bases. It's done. We're done with it. Okay. They've already destroyed morale enough. And we're sick of cleaning up their messes in Ukraine and Iran at the border. We have a lot to handle. All right. And it's only been a year. This is ending, and it's ending now. The Senate also treated Pete like crap. He's not going to take this from another senator. There's a chain of command. Pete now controls Kelly. Kelly's going to come in and he's going to get a little bit of a spanking. And Pete already looked at the war medals this guy had in his chest, and they're like, they're all cockeyed. They're in the wrong direction. The guy doesn't even know how to dress up. This Democrat Party charged Donald Trump like 94 times, 6 trials. They raided his house, they leaked his taxes, they spied on his campaign, and arrested everybody in his orbit, campaign managers, advisors, even his little valet. And they're upset that someone has to talk to an FBI agent. Really? Come on. You didn't think we were going to hit back? You think you were going to get away with all that and we were going to do anything about it? You got to be out of your mind. They're probably used to us not doing anything because we used to not. We used to just take it, and now we're not taking it anymore. So if you go over the line, we caught you, and now you have to pay a price. Doesn't matter. They have no idea what they just walked into. After what they did to us, then pardoned everybody and then put stuff in burn bags? No, we're going to hit back, and we're going to hit back kind of hard.
Jessica, do you agree that a video calling on the military writ large to disobey the commander-in-chief's orders is in fact seditious?
No, I don't. And I don't think anyone in their right mind would agree with that. The video is explicit that you should not obey unlawful orders, that actually your sworn duty is to the Constitution, not to a commander who's asking you to do illegal things. We've talked about this now 3 days in a row. So 3 days in a row, I'm going to say it would have been more ideal if there was specificity about the type of orders that you are hearing from lower ranking officers that they're concerned about. So if that's Venezuelan boat strikes, like why did General Halsey resign from the Southern Command?
You don't know.
But that's why I said why. It's in
You're
the form
just
of a question.
speculating.
You're right. He just wanted to spend more time with his family.
You don't know if people are even
Leave his family out of it, Jessica.
Don't make me talk about Todd Starnes. Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump addressing that meeting of generals and saying, you're going to have to help us clean up these blue cities, those kinds of things. But to Greg's point about, you shouldn't be elevating these people. They are doing exactly the wrong thing in Greg Gutfeld's mind, because now the face of the Democratic Party is Mark Kelly. It's not Zohran Mamdani. You have Donald Trump smiling at Mamdani, and you have Mark Kelly, who's a decorated veteran, who is married to basically like the equivalent of an American saint in Gabby Giffords, who's won a purple state, has hugely high favorabilities. And now people are talking about the fact that the Democratic Party is represented by a guy like that. I'm personally thrilled. That is what my party is, the party of Mark Kelly's out there.
So this was a political move.
No, it's just a nice afterthought that we're getting a bounce out of it, right?
You're getting a bounce out of this? You look exhausted talking about it 3 days in a row. And you're complaining you have to do an FBI interview, which if
I'm
you're
not complaining.
Truthful, you might have to go to prison.
Pete Hegseth is spending his days melting down online instead of being over in the UAE negotiating peace between Ukraine and Russia. The Secretary of the Army is the one doing that. Pete's saying, I think your medals are in the wrong order, even though it's supposed to be a mirror image or something I read on the internet. I don't know. I'm not a veteran, but I'm just saying that I doubt that Mark Kelly, a guy who's even gone to space, 4 times, knows which way his medals are supposed to go.
He doesn't know how they.
Maybe he doesn't.
Tell him.
You know what? Maybe he doesn't
I'm not
understand the
needing to tell him.
gravity of the situation.
LOL a little.
A little Kenny.
Well, I will say this, Greg. When one goes to space, as you know, their telomeres lengthen, which we would think is fortuitous. Unfortunately, when they come back to Earth, they drastically shrink. And I think that's what's happened to Senator Kelly. Also, he's almost made his full transformation into Sloth from the Goonies.
Wait, what? What shrinks?
Milky.
The telomeres.
Telomeres.
Oh,
Yes.
What are those?
They're
I like that you said O first.
basically the things at the end of genes that determine the aging process.
Okay.
So the longer they are,
It's not the other
the
thing.
less. It's
things?
not the other thing, but he is talking about members of the military the way he talks about a thick-headed child. That is condescending and unacceptable. And we can't just say, well, they all served. Alyssa Sletnick was in the that's what Greg called her yesterday. I
By
know that is
accident.
not her name.
By accident.
But, it's like she was in the CIA. These guys are experts. Then why is everyone in the military protesting? Because they are being talked down to like they are idiotic children. They are not. They understand the gravity of the job they have signed up for and the oath that they have sworn, which will not be undermined by doubt that is simply being issued for political purposes by people who are rendering their service a little less impressive by stunts like these. And that's what it is. It is a stunt. And if it weren't, if there were specific, actionable issues at hand that they had to be standing up to, they would be able to list them to any member of the media who was like, okay, what are the illegal things? They would say A, B, C, and possibly D. And as a lawmaker, I'm going to fix all of these things so the president doesn't extend the bounds of his power. But they haven't said that at all, because that's not what it is, because it is a stunt.
Senator Slotkin did enumerate them in a TMZ interview.
Oh, that's right. TMZ is the news. Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.
You know, Kennedy used to be hot back in her MTV days. So I used to be a fan of Kennedy. In her prime, she used her prime looks to get paid. She knows how to use her looks. So it worked out in the MTV days. And then she moved on to more serious news. So shout out to Kennedy. Very insightful news. And got to give her props. Now, it's clear about moving a little bit past, pushing past news. By the way, if you like the video so far, give it a thumbs up. I'm always keep saying that. My name is Noel, trying to build the channel here. All right. It is what it is. My new 24/7 job. Now that I'm retired, I used to work in New York City, moved out the city, and wow, my eyes opened up. The city's only good to live there, to work, and make your money. Real life happens outside of the city, in my opinion. And now that I get to live outside the city, wow, my eyes are wide open. Now, I like talking news. I like talking about what's going on with Trump. The man is going up against the media, something unheard of that you can't really do. And he's actually doing it. So it's peak entertainment. Let's be honest. What he's doing to the media shows destroying the fake news. Because everything about the media, if you think about it, is Hollywood. And what's Hollywood? Hollywood is fake. It's pretend play. People making millions pretending to be something that they're not. You know what I mean? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a military hero. He doesn't know how to work a gun and going up against hundreds of people and not catching a single bullets. You know, that's a nice movie. Entertaining movie. Like The Terminator is an entertaining movie. So they mix that with politics. And Trump picked a perfect name for that, which is fake news. Now, with fake news, something else fake happening in the world out there right now. And that is Akash Singh. Right now, his wife is on a mission to destroy his career. She is going all out, just talking crazy about her husband. And some people are saying that, you know what, they're pretending to get notoriety or to get some attention. But what she is doing to that man is heartbreaking, because I think we all see it in the real world. There are women who treat their men like that, and women that really hit the lotto financially, hit the lotto in the way they live, destroying that man. It breaks people's heart. It breaks my heart. I cannot believe a man lets that happen. And I could speak. I used to be married, you know, and my wife started off the relationship being all whoopity-doo-dah, being happy, agreeing to everything that I was saying, until finally we bought a house and moved in, and she switched and did that switch. My brother doesn't get it, that I'm refusing to live like that. And I said, you know what? I do not mind getting divorced without signing a prenup. Which with the Akash Singh, he didn't sign a prenup, but you know what? What he's going through is so bad that I think one can say, forget the prenup. Let it go. Press the reset button. Start life all over. I'd rather start life all over than to continue to live like that. Like every day you got to wake up to a horror film, to a horror movie. That's your life. That's insane. I'd rather stay alive, press the reset button, and keep pushing forward. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit better, especially when you're a young man. He's in his 30s. I don't know, 38, 39, still young. Go get a job, and that's it. You made a mistake, own up to it, and keep it pushing. But instead, that woman is really going all out, embarrassing him, like letting all men know, whatever you do in life, do not be a beta male. That's the worst thing you could do for yourself. Beta male are the saddest people on earth. And we went through like this internet moment talking about red pills and alpha males and how you got to treat women like so-and-so and do this, do that. The red pill moment is kind of fading away. And being an alpha male, you know what? I didn't agree with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not an alpha male. I'm not going to try it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up my shit and keep it moving. That's it. Push forward. My ex-wife, wish her the best. Good luck in life. That's it. Yeah, you're a genius. Yeah, God bless you. And I'm a genius on my accountability. Nobody got to tell me. Nobody have to clap it up. Because that's another thing. She lived for the viewers or for other people to say, wow, she's smart. Wow, she's great. Me, on the other hand, I could care less. I know I'm great. How about that? I know I'm amazing. I know I live good. Right? And then my struggles are my personal struggles. Don't need to share it or give it to anybody. Or have anybody celebrating my wins or celebrating my losses. Because that's what a lot of the haters do. Her whole family just started celebrating all of my losses. Here we are now on a 6-year divorce. So we got to go through divorce for the next 6 years. That was the understanding that we came up with. But I'm like, I am extremely happy that I don't have to wake up next to this individual. That's actually more of a loss, more sickening than me trying to cope and trying to like accept it. No, I do not accept it. I'm going to take it as an L. You know what I do with L? I press the reset button. I keep pushing. Here's a video of Akash Singh. Here's a video of women. And do we agree with what they got to say? Yes or no? You know what the nice thing about moving on in life? You don't have to agree with anything. You know who I agree with? Myself. I get to wake up at home and scream, top of my lung. I could care less. Nobody says anything. It's a beautiful thing, man. Jesus. And it's sad that Akash Singh is pretending that he's okay with a woman on a wall
of the decade. Somewhere along the way, a microphone shifted from a tool of empowerment.
Let me put this video from the beginning because it's too funny. Talking about women and how letting women run things, oh man, is a disaster. Is allowing them to destroy what's been built. The easy part of life. You know, destroying is the easy part of life. Building anything takes a lot of work and it's hard. You know, I worked for 20 years in New York City to build this. A young lady saw me, and you know what? Also in books, and they said it everywhere that after 40, is when women start to show interest, because by 40, most men got their wealth built. And they got that kind of money. So you have a lot of young ladies going for these 40-year-olds to hit the lotto, basically, and get away with their money. So I ended up with that young lady.
Sex and everything wet and messy.
Like, I know Shay Mitchell was out there on the streets, getting after it, dating, hooking up, having a good time.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see.
So that's his wife, Akash Singh. His wife is talking insane in front of him. He just got to sit there and take it. That's next level beta, next level simp. As a matter of fact, he should come up with a book, How to Be a Good Simp. When I was growing up, we used to call him Mario Sanchez. Any man getting punked by their wife, we call them a Mario Sanchez. Meaning the man shuts the fuck up and lets the woman talk crazy. And it's funny growing up thinking to yourself, well, you know what? Whatever happens, I'm never going to be a Mario Sanchez. I'm not going to let a woman walk all over me, which is what she's doing. I don't care how pretty she is. No beauty is going to turn me into a slave. So who hit the lotto here? Did he hit the lotto or did she hit the lotto? Right? Most men at first will say, wow, Akash hit the lotto with that girl. She's beautiful. But then after hearing her talk, we all can see that this is his nightmare. The worst thing that ever happened to Akash Singh is this woman. All we could do is wish him luck and get away from her, because at this point, Akash's word means nothing. Nothing that man says has any value. Like, the minute he opens his mouth, all I could look at him and say is, my man, did you break up with her? What is you saying? Are you still with that maniac? Like, wow, he could take out a bullet. My man is just taking hit after hit. Unbelievable. And he's in his 30s. So I mean, for the next 40 years, he's going to continue to take hits. Amazing.
His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. No, I kind of love it. But
The foolishness.
You know what? And another thing, people are saying that, you know what? Nobody should feel sorry for Akash because maybe that's what he likes. Maybe that's his fetish. Maybe he feels bad being with somebody who doesn't treat him like shit. Maybe he doesn't get it. Like, you're supposed to, as a man, be treated like shit and go through hell. So because of that, we shouldn't feel bad for him. It's just, let them be. That's their lifestyle. He's okay with that. Which, with Mario Sanchez, I think we could all say that. Mario Sanchez ain't going nowhere. She could spit in his face. Bring her boyfriend into the house. Tell him to sleep in another room, and he's cool with it. And it's like, my man, that's a nightmare for me.
Podcasts were supposed to give women a voice. Instead, they gave the internet content and a front row seat to the greatest self-owns of the decade. Somewhere along the way, a microphone shifted from a tool of empowerment to a confession booth with no filter, no awareness, and no realization that the entire world is listening. And nothing proves that more than what's happening right now.
to a sign-up sheet. Wait, okay, I have two butthole stories. So one time I met this guy on Tinder. This was before Bumble or Hinge. Like, this was like in the OG days of the app. And this guy, he was like some, how do you say, half Asian, like baddie. Wasian. That's the word. Yeah, Wasian. Actually, in the Bay. That's when I was living in the Bay Area. And I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to hook up. And I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore. Oh my God. And I remember
this is his wife. Now, whatever history a woman has is her history and her history only. Nobody knows anything about it. Nobody asks questions. You put it in the past. But this young lady got a microphone and a camera and is making it public. Like, this is sad. She's talking about somebody destroying her booty hole and telling Akash, well, I'm still a virgin. Because, you know, it hasn't been no real penetration. And it's like, I'm sorry. This is not a virgin talking. And this is logic that we cannot give to Akash. I want to see when he goes on the show, the flagrant show with Andrew Schultz. He's probably going to tell him to shut up and not to talk about it. But how is Andrew Schultz going to keep this guy around in the show and not fire him or saying, I'm sorry, you're messing up our reputation? If you think about it, now that I know how he is, I'm thinking all his friends got to be the same. All of them. All of them got to go home and get trashed by their women like this. And that's a sad life to live. No human being should be put through this. So if they keep him in the show, they're all going through this. It's a show for the simps. It's a Simp 101 show. So they should change the name of the show to the Simp 101 TV show. I'm sorry, YouTube show.
Remember that he I would try to me in my asshole. I'm like, first of all, we were not on those terms. But anyways, so that was non-consensual actually. That was a non-consensual butthole action.
Comedian Akash Singh is getting roasted because his wife went on her own podcast and casually admitted things she never told him. The type of admissions that instantly rewrite a marriage, a reputation, and a man's legacy. But here's the plot twist. This isn't about Akash. This isn't about one woman. This is a pattern. Give women a microphone. Give them a platform. Give them freedom of expression with zero accountability, and they will always tell on themselves. They will tell you everything you never asked for and everything that destroys their own narrative. So today, we're diving into 20 minutes of women destroying themselves on their own podcast. How much proof do you need? Not because we're looking for dirt, but because they keep digging up the dirt themselves, handing it straight to the internet. And then,
you know, it's nice somebody said that men look at women's history to judge them, while women look at a man's future to see what potential there is and how they're going to be living the rest of their lives. So you got to think about that. The worst thing to do is marry a woman with a crazy history like this. The story she just said, whoa, I wouldn't even be able to live with myself.
acting shocked when people react. Let's get this highlight reel started.
And we want to talk about this more openly with you guys. It's usually not something that we talk about, but we hope to inspire more conversation around it because it's the conversations we're having with each other and with our girlfriends.
Yeah. And I think you guys know that, you know, in the past, I have kind of worked on being more vulnerable and more open for the sake of this podcast. And thank you so much for all the feedback over the last couple seasons and the comments of saying like how me being vulnerable has helped you guys in certain ways. That's really encouraged me to continue.
I think for other women, this may be encourageable, but they feel like, yes, fine, I can get this off of my chest and point out how big of a hoe I used to be. But for men, we get a chuckle. We just get to laugh like, woo, I wouldn't want to be that girl's husband. Jesus, she's beautiful. And she used that beauty to get around and build up her numbers. Man, again, as a guy, I just get to say, thank God it's not me. And no, I don't care how beautiful a girl is. I would never wish that woman on myself or any of my quote unquote friends. As a matter of fact, if I had a friend with a girl like this, I would be just making fun of him all day. Like, yo, my man. What else is she going to put out into the streets? Somebody put a lid on that woman.
You to be open and vulnerable.
This is where it all starts, guys. The podcast group therapy circle. They call it vulnerable, but somehow the vulnerability always comes with an audience, brand deals, and a ring light. Notice they're only opening up because it benefits the sisterhood, but that sisterhood never seems to include the men they expect to clean up the aftermath.
1000%. Like, think about that. So that's what you have to do to men. You have to like date. Okay, in my book, Come Your Own Matchmaker on Amazon, you have to date a pair and a spare. So you have to always date 3 people at the same time. It's very hard for the roster to get moving. But once you get that first little fight, even if it's Cowboy, let's say Cowboy's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, I can't marry him. He's so cute, but I'm not the right age. He's going to want kids.
Yep.
But he's great to take to a party. He's great to go to a concert.
Yeah.
Then you got the middle guy. You go, he's sort of cute. He has a nice house. He's just like short, or, you know, like I don't like his job or something, or he's too many kids. Like I dated a Mormon once and he had 8 kids.
Oh my God.
And I love Mormons because they're always so pretty. But I'm
they
like,
are.
I can't do the 8
That's a
thing.
lot
And then
of
he wanted
kids.
me to move to like a part of
Utah.
Now I would move to a part of Utah with a branch.
Right.
But this was back in the day when I was hitting it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So I was like, no, now I'd be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
So he's cuss. Then there's the main guy. The one you go, oh my God, I love him. He's perfect in every way. We have the best kissing. We have the best time together.
Yeah.
But I got to wait for him to call. So that's why the 2 backups keep you busy.
Oh.
They will always rotate the 3. You might get rid of the Cowboy and get another one that's a little better. And as you do this, you refine your taste. You level up.
Because if you don't feel in love, then who cares if he's the good guy?
A full roster, a starter, a bench warmer, and a guy who buys the food. They call it dating.
A full roster. That's funny. I'm sorry, I got to laugh about it because that is funny. She got a roster, including bench warmers, just in case. God bless, but think about it as your daughter. Would you be cool with your daughter going through this?
Strategy, but somehow the strategy always looks like juggling men you don't even like while waiting for the one who barely calls back. And the fun.
You know what I used to hate? If you think about it as a daughter, a lot of these women, they go all out extracting from the men with the money to give to the brothers and the fathers and the cousin to hand it down to family. I used to hate that about my ex-wife. Like, what are we doing? Building up wealth, and every time we get something, give it away to one of your family members. So it's like she was working overtime for them. That just raised my hate. It made me more aware that this is not it. This woman is not it. I need to move on and wish her well and not be a crash dummies. Because that's another thing they want. They want you to be a crash dummy and get yourself arrested. I don't think so. You just got to let it go.
Funniest part, the older they get, the more the roster starts looking like fantasy football. All stats, no wins.
Okay, so I put up on Instagram, sent in your relationship dilemmas. A lot of people sent in sex dilemmas.
Wow.
I'm just putting it in with the relationship dilemmas.
No one's getting into relationships anymore. They're like, we're just banging out here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame them.
Well, that's why people aren't getting into relationships as much, because sex is so accessible.
Stop
and
giving your
easy.
fanny out.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop it. It's making it harder for us people that actually want to be in a normal relationship.
Stop f***ing for no reason.
Aaron.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, you could at least be a prostitute. If you're going to randomly, for no reason, at least get paid for it.
Wow.
Random. If you're going to randomly, for no reason, at least get the ball on.
Disclaimer, don't actually take our advice.
I do not.
Yo, look at that. Silently, they are promoting prostitution. You know, they were indirectly. So this particular woman right here is just saying this flat out. Like, get paid for your booty. Do not want to mince words and just putting it out there. That is so rare, but it's what happened when you put a microphone in front of a woman who's tired of lying.
Advocate prostitution.
It's like, don't try this at home. And don't actually take our advice.
I do not think it's the right thing to do. I think it's immoral.
Mandy, people would argue that if you're having sex with random people for fun, then you're doing it because you want to for fun.
But just add a bit of money and stuff. It's more fun. Extra fun. It's like bonus fun. You can still charge the people that you want to do for no reason.
No, because no one's gonna pay for sex, or like unless you're a bit weird.
Really? I'm sure there's loads of young hot guys paying for sex.
Do you think?
Yes. To not have any strings attached, 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's so easy. You just go to a club or a bar and you can.
Then you have to be like, do you want a drink? And she's like, yeah. How many brothers and sisters do you have? And then they can't be asked for it at all.
Okay.
Obviously, they're low class men.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the things I'm going to say that men enjoy, less conversation, less talking. So she's a little bit right about that. Going to the club and having to go through like a whole couple of hours of talking, making her feel comfortable, winning her over, just for her to come over for tonight to have a good time. Like, that's a lot of work. After a while, men think, you know what? This is a lot of work. And then getting rejected, rejection after rejection after rejection. And it's like, you know what? Is the work, is the juice worth the squeeze? Yeah, so she's right about that. Most men that got that money, think about it, is the juice worth the squeeze? Putting in all this work for what? For her to win? For her to hit the lotto with me? I think most men got to do that. Put it in their brain. They are the lotto. They are the ones doing the hard work. And it may sound what's called misogynistic. I had a girl once saying, "You're misogynistic." I laughed. I looked at her and said, "You don't know what that means, and neither do I." Using big words, I don't know why. So let's move on. The conversation is something else. Because I have no clue what that even means. But I'll say this much, man. Men got to look at themselves as a lotto, period.
Yeah, and I look down on those such men, and I think they're disgusting.
On those such men.
And I would never be around those disgusting men.
On those such men.
I like a man who's got natural track. You can just make a woman take her panties off easily, like Hugh Grant in Bridget Jones's Diary. You know, and even though he's a fuckboy, actually he did pay for sex as well, you see, in the movie.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
It's not logic.
This is the pipeline. Casual sex isn't good for women unless you get paid. Then 5 seconds later, she's talking about wanting a quality man. Ma'am, quality men aren't trying to date the human megaphone who turns every bad idea into a business plan on camera.
I have really big tits, obviously, and my whole life I covered it up. Like never, was insecure about them. Then I was like, I'm gonna start capitalizing off of this because carrying these around is a full-time job. Might as well get paid.
I support that decision.
Exactly. So once I started posting these little thirst traps, whatever, I was like, people will come for these and stay for my knowledge, hopefully. So we're working that out.
Love that.
Podcasting in 2025. Step 1, acknowledge nothing. Step 2, monetize everything. The ultimate empowerment lie. I used to hide my body. Now I monetize it. They've confused being taken seriously with being taken. This isn't a business model. It's a cope. You didn't build a brand. You built a menu. Every time you think the bar can't get lower, somebody with a microphone brings a shovel.
So stability are all the things that I feel like I need to feel very safe and cared for in a relationship. And a lot of these things are what some people might call baseline, but I have since put a label on it and a name. I'm like, okay, these are the things that I need. So I feel like an example of stability is feeling prioritized, being considered in decisions, picking me up, dropping me off, taking the initiative to plan dates. I want to be thought of when we're not together, showing me that we're thought of. These are things that make me feel very safe in a relationship, psychologically safe and also physically safe. And I think in my past relationships, I had felt not prioritized. It felt really bad. We had really good chemistry, juice, which I'll get into. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like they put as much time and energy into the relationship as I was. So that's stability.
There goes feelings, how I feel. With that said, let me get out of here. I'm gonna go fix my television. Peace. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. They are free. It's a free like. I'll be right back.